Hi, my name is Renato Fakhoury. I'm a fourth-year PhD student in global studies at UMass Lowell, and I have a question for you. What if Indigenous peoples participated in international organizations? What would they say? How would they perceive and present the threats that are challenging their ways of life? Well, that already happens in the Arctic Council. The Arctic Council is a regional organization encompassing 8 Arctic states, as well as 6 indigenous organizations who enjoy the same rights as states' representatives. This makes the Arctic Council the first, and so far the only, intergovernmental forum to accredit indigenous peoples' organizations with a status that ensures them full participation. And while the structure of the Arctic Council is fascinating, it begs the question, are those indigenous groups raising the same issues as representatives from the states in which they're inserted? Well, let me tell you, no. This study, which is part of a broader dissertation project, aimed to analyze how power relations influenced indigenous participation in the Arctic Council, as well as the issues that they were presenting as threats. For that, I conduct both discourse and content analysis in speeches that were given by state representatives and indigenous leaders in the Arctic Council, and ministerial meetings, which are the higher level discussions of the organization and that should, in theory, reflect the priorities of each participant. And although this research is yet in early stages, initial discourse analysis showed that indigenous peoples are more likely to use securitizing language, that is, presenting issues as existential threats, than state representatives. And while state representatives focused more on issues of infrastructural development, lack of connectivity, and diversification of energy sources, indigenous leaders highlighted climate change, the loss of language, the loss of food sources, and the loss of culture as their main existential threats. Some points of discussion which I bring in the paper that I'm writing are, given that indigenous communities often do not have the instruments to counter immediate threats, such as nation states do, are less powerful groups more likely to present issues as security threats? And since marginalized groups with fewer resources are the first to feel the impacts of climate change, especially as their livelihoods are so linked to nature, is securitizing climate change inevitable for them? Next steps in this project include interviewing representatives from the 6 indigenous organizations that are represented in the Arctic Council, as well as in a later moment, ask those same representatives to peer review any manuscript that goes out for publication, as granting agency to indigenous voices is not only a problem in international relations, as this research shows, but also in academia. Thank you so much.